Code Red nerds! Welcome to Cinematic Cravings. We're taking a quick look at what's waiting for us in Stranger Things 5, with a brand new teaser, a fresh poster, and official info. Hawkins in 1987 is under siege. Vecna has vanished, and the final battle is right around the corner. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop your theories in the comments. Your support really means a lot to us. Let's get started. This time, Netflix is taking over the entire holiday season. The season is arriving in 3 waves, 1-4 on November 26, 5-7 on December 25, and the finale on December 31. Plus, every episode is feature length. The team literally says 8 movies. So this isn't a weekend binge. It's a farewell show that runs from November to the last day of the year, with the pace rising step by step. Set your watch list now, because each volume is going to spark a fresh wave of theories. The story opens in the fall of 1987. Hawkins, scarred by the rifts, is effectively under military quarantine, and the government is hunting 11, so she's forced back into hiding. The team's goal is clear: find Vecna and stop him. But Vecna is missing. His plans and location are unknown. The official synopsis also highlights that familiar pressure closing in on the town as the anniversary of Will's disappearance approaches. That whispers this final season isn't just a monster hunt, it's a season of confronting the echo of the first sin. The teaser and the poster that dropped on the 9th anniversary set the tone perfectly. A red, stormy sky, the crew on their bikes, and Vecna's ominous silhouette looming overhead. The trailer cuts off with Will's throat-shredding run, which signals not just the level of danger, but Will's role this season as a kind of psychic barometer. The Demogorgons are still lethal, but this time the human factor, military, panic, the obsession with control has been added to the supernatural. In short, Hawkins is besieged from both inside and out. Now, let's see who's in the cast, shall we? The core team is back in full. Joyce, Hopper, 11, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Will, Max, Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Robin, and joining us, the legendary Linda Hamilton shows up as Dr. K. Alongside her, Nell Fisher as Holly Wheeler, Jake Connolly as Derek Turnbow, and Alex Bro as Lieutenant Akers. In short, the nostalgia muscle is fully flexed, and the excitement level climbs with the new faces. There's also the episode titles in the mythology front. We open with The Crawl, then episode 2 is The Vanishing of, deliberately left incomplete, followed by The Turnbow Trap, Sorcerer, Shock Jock, Escape from Camazotz, The Bridge, and finally, The Rightside Up. It's said that this season will deliver the remaining answers from the Duffer Brothers' 25-page upside-down document they've kept since. Season 1, in particular, Camazotz and Rightside Up, hint at flipping the rules of the universe on their head. We'll talk in a bit about why they matter for the theories. Let's unpack the Will side a little. You can tell that Run, Scream in the teaser, isn't just a random jump scare, right? The official synopsis specifically marks the anniversary of Will's disappearance. That suggests Will might be not only the emotional center this season, but also an antenna that triggers events. If there's a resonance between that red sky pressing down on Hawkins and Will's senses, it looks like the crew will be taking their cues from him at every step. Plus, with the government hunting 11 and narrowing her room to move, the team might rely even more on Will's inner voice as their guide in the field. In short, in the final season, Will has the potential to move from first victim to the heart of the battle plan. Things get even juicier on the mythology front. You know how they've been saying the remaining questions from that 25-page upside-down document the Duffers wrote years ago will be answered this season? The episode titles are like the cipher key for that. The Rightside Up winks directly at the idea of flipping the world back around. As the rules of the upside down are revealed, it might become technically possible to turn the universe right side up again. Escape from Camazotz invokes a term that pop culture often ties to Bat's darkness. Ever since Eddie's bat scene, that image has been pulsing through the show's veins. If the final move plays with the fundamental building blocks of the universe, having both of these titles in the same season isn't a coincidence. In other words, we're not just watching monster fights, we're watching a hack into the software of the world. Now, let's get to that famous time loop reset theory. The upside down being frozen on November 6, 1983 has been a clue from the start. Is it possible to go back and tweak the moment of origin? Stranger Things doesn't use a time machine. It bends time with psychic doors, journeys through the mind, and echoes of alternate dimensions. If Eleven's bridges and Vecna's mental battlegrounds make it possible to touch 1983, loosening even one screw from the lab's original sins could change the present. The counter-argument says this isn't real-time travel. It's a shadow copy of a moment. But a thematic reset in the final season, at least a move that reframes a critical knot, doesn't feel far-fetched at all. The Eddie equals Cass part is, in my opinion, the most adrenaline-pumping possibility. In DD, Cass is Vecna's right hand who ultimately betrays his master with that critical stab in the back. When you combine Eddie's bloody goodbye against the bats, the vampiric transformation vibes, and Vecna's power to reshape something using shadow particles, the stage looks set. Even though the Duffers said Eddie is dead, that doesn't slam the door shut. Because the point isn't the exact same Eddie coming back. It's a version of Eddie reshaped in the dark who switches sides at the finale with a spark of memory. Dramatically, it's perfect. Closure for Dustin's grief and Vecna being punished by the very darkness he created. The structure of the season changes the game entirely. 3 separate volumes, each with feature-length episodes, means a minute-finale feeling with every drop. And a fresh wave of theories after every finale. This tempo is perfect for telling the Hawkins story in rich, satisfying chunks. First, the manhunt and the tableau of chaos, then the personal reckonings, and finally, the big confrontation. A starter like the Crawl conjures the team literally clawing their way through the rubble into a new status quo. Then that deliberate blank in the vanishing of is a slick move that points to both mystery and a missing name, or a piece of information that vanishes without a miss. Trace. In short, the release plan and the titles feel designed to lull us with faux breathers, only to hit us with something bigger in the next wave. Let's not underestimate the human factor. Militer Cornantine builds a second layer of threat in Hawkins alongside the supernatural. The name Doctor. K evokes a hardline intellect representing the state with medical, scientific legitimacy. Lontan Acres could be the face of the command chain on the ground. As the hunt for 11 intensifies, the barriers the government sets up will test not only the team, but also civilian solidarity in town. When I hear shock jock, I immediately think of the loud radio culture of the 80s. Maybe fake news, panic, or the opposite. An underground broadcast that helps the team guide each other. Point is, this season isn't just about monsters. It's also a war over information, control, and propaganda. On the character front, the emotional stakes are sky high. Hopper and Joyce look poised to face the possibility of a normal life one last time while trying to protect the town and the team. The Steve, Nancy, Jonathan triangle has to finally answer the question that's been simmering for years. Who grew alongside whom? Otherwise, the finale's emotional punch will feel incomplete. Robin's storyline with Vicky could walk a razor's edge. The town isn't a place to flirt anymore. It's time for escape plans and honest confessions. Lucas's hope for Max isn't just a romantic motivation. It feels like the symbol of the team's we don't give up reflex. And Dustin, where he places his grief over Eddie and the single brave move he might make in the finale, could change the feel of the entire season. The visual language is telling us a lot. The poster's red sky and Vecna hanging overhead say the upside down has stopped being a leak and has become the landscape. That's not just a color palette choice. It means fear has turned into everyday life. In a tableau like that, the title The Bridge could mark the team moving as a single body for the last time, mending broken bonds, strengthening weak links, and breathing in the same rhythm before the final leap. And yes, the right side up whispers that topsy-turvy moment we've all been waiting for. What if the world finally turns right side up? Even the possibility doubles the emotional weight of the finale. 11's path is also very clear. Once the hunt begins, our hero will have to do more than hide. She'll have to redefine her power. As we saw in Season 4, her victory isn't just hitting harder. It's remembering what she wants to protect and who she's fighting for. In a season where will works like an antenna, 11's greatest strength might not be being the door all by herself, but connecting to the right heart at the right moment. That's why the psychic resonance she'll build with Will could become the key to the final strategy. If the finale truly brings everyone the full party together, That bond calibrates the entire battle plan. In Volume 1, 1-4, I think they'll set the table and kick off the hunt. With the crawl, we're literally crawling out of the wreckage into the new order. Then that deliberately unfinished. The vanishing of mystery might lead the crew down false trails. The moment you say the Turnbow trap, alarm bells go off in my head. Imagine a snare centered on Derek Turnbow, set by the government or Vecna. If the team fractures, the game's over. So the main test of the first 4 episodes is staying together. We'll feel the gloom of 1,987 soldiers patrolling the streets and the town's growing paranoia all through this block. Volume 2, 5-7 means rising tension. Shock Jock brings to mind that provocative radio, TV culture of the 80s, and a war over information misdirection. Panic, even deliberate provocation. The crew might have to choose whose voice to trust. Escape from Camazotz looks like a literal descent into the heart of darkness. Picture a journey into the upside-down source code through the Bat Darkness mythology. By the time we hit the bridge, it's the test of moving as one, repairing broken bonds, sinking breaths before the final leap. The bridge is either built or we all fall. Volume 3 is just a single episode, but the title says it all, the right side up. This is either turning the world right side up at last, or at least pushing the leak back and rewriting the rules. If the time loop reset line is going to connect to something, it connects here. The Upside Down's echo, fixed to 1,983, either becomes a door or it closes. There is no winning without paying a price, the official synopsis says, everyone, the full party, while also telling us to brace for some goodbyes. The feeling of the finale won't just be about defeating the monster. It'll be about remembering who we are and who we are together. How the Will and Max arcs close will determine the heart of the season. On Will's side, 2 lines converge, his identity journey and that unsettling tie to the mind flayer Vecna. If Will works like an antenna, the psychic resonance he builds with 11 could be the key to the plan. On Max's side, waking up isn't a miracle. It's an engineering feat with a cost. If 11's mind bridges, Lucas's unwavering hope, and the team's refuse to quit reflects all fire at once, Max comes back and that return could be the first time Vecna truly retreats. If the Eddie cast card hits the table, Dustin's goodbye closes with a spark of heroism. If not, Dustin's own choice, swallowing his fear and taking one step for the team, becomes the emotional center of the finale. As we hit the home stretch, here's the frame I have in mind. The power of Stranger Things is turning 80s nostalgia into right now. So the goodbye won't just be about shutting a portal. It'll remark where families, friendships, and growing up began. The red that the teaser drops over us is the color of the fear we've carried for years. The only way to clear that sky in the end is for everyone to put their hands under the weight at the same time. If there's such a thing as one last adventure, it's exactly this: walking toward fear together and closing the door on whichever side together. All right, nerds. The picture in Hawkins is clear, a finale arriving in 3 waves. Vecna's shadow, the possibility of tinkering with the upside-down software, and the team's full party moment. So what do you think the final move is? Right side up, or a completely different price to pay? Drop your theories in the comments. What does Will's run? Scream say to you, does EddieCast work, or is a time reset more likely? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you subscribe and turn on notifications, we'll be breaking down every detail together when the final season arrives. See you in the next video.